Hello, my name is Natalie Hart. I'm director of MAMA, Platform for Visual Culture and Young Talent. We have a showroom in the center of Rotterdam where we present exhibitions and projects from young creators. In 2019, we put out an open call to bring together a group of young creatives who have a strong connection to or interest in the south of the city, where many changes are happening. In the framework of On the Point, we wanted to hear their voices. An evolving group of young creatives came together and adopted the name Naamloos collective. In this film, they introduced themselves and their project Hart, Zuid, which was affected a great deal by the pandemic. We are taking a moment to reflect on the process so far. The messy on-offline conditions of our current reality are clearly apparent in this clip.
My name is Aline and I'm the communications manager of Naamloos collective.
Hey, I'm Nikki Georgiou and I'm one of the creatives of the On the Point project. I'm from Athens, Greece, and I live in Rotterdam already 3 years now.
Hi, I'm Robbie Gutierrez. I'm 28 years old. I was born and raised in Charloes, a neighborhood across next to this one. I joined the Mama project especially because it was focused on South, and I wanted to give my thanks to South.
Hi, my name is Sherry Pinas and I am a proud part of Naamloos collective. For the project Hart, Zuid, I've been the key master ambassador.
I am Sam Willems. I work on the communications for Naamloos, which mainly means working with Elina on ideas for the socials, and I focus on visuals. Hart Zuid is a project, part of the On the Point project, and Feyenoord is an area that is rich, let's say,
In different cultures?
Yes.
In diversity, different cultures, a multicultural society basically. It's also a good model for the rest of the city.
Started researching in the area from the already made plans about how the government and the municipalities are vision to change the area, to gentrify it basically. And after that we went deeper and deeper in a more personal, let's say, point of view.
Yeah.
So based on this idea and this concept and this research, we found that the main terms that we want to focus is the sense of belonging, ownership, and storytelling.
Storytelling and guest mentality also,
Yes.
That's really prevalent here. And for that we dove into the archives of Rotterdam, and we also spoke to the residents here, and in different ways, by interviewing them, just speaking with them, walking around the neighborhood and just getting a feel of Afrikaanderplein.
Mustafa kwam met zijn gezin naar Nederland. Een arbeidsmigrant. Werkt aan de lopende band in een fabriek. Eelt op de handen, rugklachten. Maar het brengt brood op de tafel. Het weekend is voor zijn gezin. Zijn vrouw roostert brood, bakt sujuk met ei, met verse jus d'orange toosten ze op hun gezondheid. En als de kinderen klaar zijn met het eten over hun gezicht te smeren, neemt hij ze mee naar het speeltuin.
So my project is the Place in Between. Place in Between is a sound installation that aims to represent the soundscape of Feyenoord and comment on possible changes that may appear to the soundscape because of migration or gentrification, for example. So it's a collaborative project. The design is the visual representation, is the visual representation of the area. So it's from recycled still sheets. The outside they are recycled, and it tries to represent a speaker because of the soundscape, but also the connection to Feyenoord and Rotterdam, which Feyenoord was the first area of the residents of the. It was the first area of the people working to the harbor.
The Arc de Mémoire. It's based on the Arc de Triomphe and concepts like that one. It's like a tribute to the neighborhood for the inhabitants to be able to put their stories on the artwork by visual means with drawings or text scriptures. The idea behind this project is like hopefully when if the inhabitants, the people here living in the neighborhood, have their stories physically on the location, that they will have a greater sense of ownership of the neighborhood, and it hopefully will help with getting rid of the gas mentality that a lot of immigrants suffer from.
The Urban Museum is a workshop slash installation. Let's say it's an urban exhibition that has been created through a workshop by Katerina Mavridis.
So I participated in the Urban Museum workshop. I got this assignment. I got a little booklet and a pencil, and we needed to write down, take notes of objects that we find on the streets of the neighborhood. In the end of the workshop, we had to write stories about these things, and a chair or and it could be anything. And these stories, in the end, we put up like a text in a museum of an artwork. So where before it was a very regular thing lying on the streets, next thing we created art.
Well, nice that we're all together tonight, and I'm going to jump right in. The first question for me is, how did you get to the name? What does Naamloos Collective stand for?
It's a joke that stayed. So because we didn't have a name, we used Naamloos, and now we just stay with Naamloos Collective.
We focused more to the project that we're doing than that who is doing it.
Coming in later in the group, you can see how that name works, because there was already a name, Naamloos. So it was for us also maybe even easier to feel more at home or welcome with this group or work with them, because it's also more approachable.
Your first project together has a different name, which is Hart and Zuid. Jorbi, maybe you can give us a little bit of an insight into what that name means.
Yeah, so the name has kind of a duality. It means heart, literally the heart as in a human heart of South, but that we wanted to portray. But it also means like tough as people from South, like because heart as in hardened, they have a tough shell.
What was the motivation for you and or for Mama to set the focus of On the Point Rotterdam on the South?
Well, Rotterdam South is a really big area, and most of the cultural efforts of the city focus on the north side of the river, and so also Mama. There are a lot of incidental projects in the south, but they're really short, and I thought it was a good opportunity that this is a long-term project, because hopefully it would create more sustainable ties.
What was your motivation to join the project?
So for me, it was more about portraying the real South, let's say, because I realized that there's a big difference between what people believe of the South and what is actually the South.
Yeah, for me it was I was born and raised in Charlois, so I'm like originated from the South. So it's my thank you for the creativity it gave me and for the worldview it gave me. But it was also for me an opportunity to deal with the frustration that I have, that a lot of times they have from these cultural artsy projects in the South or other neighborhoods by people who aren't from the neighborhood, who don't understand the neighborhoods, and they come with work that don't correlate with them. So I wanted to like make sure it does.
Yeah, for me personally, living in the city center actually for almost 3 years, South has always been like a bit far from my bed. It's over the river. So knowing Mama as an institute, when I saw the project about Naamloos, it was for me also a way in to Rotterdam South.
The Rotterdam on the Point project was set up with the ambition to create long-term relationships with local initiatives and creators and audiences. Is that something that you think you've achieved? Could you reflect on that?
but I don't think we are there yet. And I think one of the biggest problems we had, it was Corona, unfortunately, because by the moment we started to really reach out to the neighborhood and the different neighborhoods, then it was weird to be together because of Corona situation.
For us as an organization, I don't think we've come that much closer to initiatives or institutions which we would have wanted to in the beginning, because actually it was Naamloos who was running it. But at the same time, I also think that's a very strength of the project. I'm very ambiguous because I don't think as Mama we have really generated these connections, but they have been generated by Naamloos, which I'm, in awe to see, which is really nice to see.
Simply takes time to understand what organizations are there, who plays what part, and so I think we're doing a good job in that.
We are in a good path.
Which is, what is the biggest takeaway for you from the project? Like, as in, what did you learn from each other maybe, or from the project itself?
I think for me personally, the biggest takeaway from this project would be that, actually anything can be done under any circumstance. We have had the whole array of all circumstances, from 100 to 30 to 5 to only 2 people on the street. And every time we made a new plan. So it was really nice to see how an idea can take so many different forms and still convey its original message.
Is there one meaningful encounter that really stuck with you from the project?
I remember the first day I saw Jorbi's rainbow work, that I arrived at the artwork and that there were already kids playing with it. And it was, I think, a day or 2 after it was placed. So for me, that really signaled how quickly an artwork can also be integrated in the neighborhood and taken up by the people.
I went walking around to interview people to gather their stories, and I ended up at this bar where I met this man and ended up drinking beer with him till 8 o'clock in the evening and got drunk. And some of my friends gathered by, some of his friends gathered by, and the man was like 40 something years old, so he was already. And you know, Surinamese man, like with a great stature and like a lot of respect and value for respect. So it was really nice. Yeah, that's one thing I really remember.
For me, I think it's the interaction with the children. So after we placed my artwork, every time I'm there, I think it's really nice how all the kids are so interested and curious about Mevrouw, what is that? Or what stands for? Or they also have their opinions that this is not an artwork, for example, or stuff like that. So I think, the interaction with the children.
What is the future of Naamloos Collective?
The future has no form, like its name. So it's not uncertain. There is a future, but it will take a different form.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be something that that strikes out to us, let's say.
Please, that you can wave at the camera. Yeah.
We did our best due to the circumstances.
We did our best due to the circumstances. Yeah. And we're looking forward to spring.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We're super resilient.
We
also,
yeah.
I guess. We want, if anything.